Hello. So I was getting ready to text my sister about a customer I just had and realize I don't want to text this whole long thing about this customer. So I'm going to do a video and share it with all of you. Granted, this is going to be a sort of rant session, so if you're not interested, my feelings will not be hurt. Feel free to swipe and go watch something else. Hey, I just watched a really funny video about a puppy, so go look for funny videos about puppies instead of watching me complain. Okay, so I had an older couple in at the bookstore. I'm at the bookstore today. Hello from the bookstore. They were very nice. The husband was quiet and a little brusque, like short with me. Not because he was like angry or mean or anything, probably just like that's his jam. His wife was super sweet and like went out of her way to be friendly to me, which I try to do that myself. Anyways, I could hear them talking. He was looking at westerns and he was complaining about the prices. Let's give a little backstory to westerns. I don't read westerns. I've never read a western. I've always been curious about them because I do enjoy western movies. So, hey, if you have any western recommendations, let me know. I will definitely check them out. With the bookstore, westerns are very annoying books to find because people who read them collect them. They don't read them and let them go. And once they do let them go, it's because they're in tatters or they smell like cigarette smoke or something, which, hey, no shame to people who smoke, but if you do smoke in the house, your book's taken on, or if you buy a book that smells like cigarette smoke, other books around it will take that smoke into themselves because books love to share with each other. Anyways, I'm getting off subject. Westerns are just hard for our bookstore to stock because we do stock new books, but when you come into a used bookstore, a new book price can be kind of sticker shock, even though we do give a good price because you're typically not going to pay cover price with us. But when we get people who want certain westerns that we don't have, we try to order them, and because they're, I don't know, maybe they're not published in mass quantities like other books. But because of that, online sellers or other bookstores will have to price up their books to recoup their price. And no customer wants to pay more than the cover price. Anyways, he was complaining about the prices. I get it. You know, especially me. I truly understand because I go to garage sales, I go to yard sales, thrift shops, Goodwill, whatever. I love a deal. I love a bargain. And if I'm buying books for myself, the cheaper the book is, the more books I can get. That's my jam. Are people still saying that? That's my jam? I don't know. So, I wasn't expecting them to buy any books because I could hear him complaining about the prices. I was surprised. He brought 3 books to the counter. I will tell you, okay, 2 of his books were $1.95 and 1 was $3.95. And that's really frustrating to price a book that you hunt and hunt and hunt for, and you only price it under $2 because yes, you want the right customer to find it and be stoked for a good price, but also it took you so long to find it and you just want to price it a little higher because you want like that boost of good job finding that book and putting it in your shop. But I don't like price gouging people. We're a small town in Indiana, and yeah, and when we typically we typically like our customers, and we want them to be excited about a deal as well. So he brings the books to the counter, and his wife is trying to talk him up to him. She's like, "Oh, you found one of these. Oh, you've been looking for this one, blah blah blah," and he's like, "Yeah." And then he proceeds to complain about the prices to me. And the place where the westerns are shelved is like a couple feet from me, and I greeted him when they came in, so he knew I was pretty close to him where he was shopping, so I could hear everything he was saying. But he felt it was important to complain about the prices to me. He was not mean, he was very polite. He just told me how he just went to a library sale and filled a bag with Western books for $1. And he said it's hard for me to justify getting all those books for $1, not $1 a piece, but all of them for $1, and then paying this price. And it's that thing where you think of a million things to say after the person leaves. I was just like, oh, I love a book sale. I know the feeling. But his wife was like, now listen, you never know when the library is going to have another book sale. And you don't know if they're going to be doing all those westerns for fill a bag for $1. This bookstore is here now. They have the books you want, and it's a reasonable price, and it's not a new price. So I was like, yeah, I didn't thank her, but I probably should have. But in my head, I'm like, listen to your wife. I'm not going to say that library book sales are wrong or they're hurting bookstores. No, but what we as consumers need to realize is that, like his wife said, it is a temporary avenue to get books. Same with garage sales, anything like that doesn't normally sell books. And also, a library is a non-profit organization, which means when they have a book sale, the money that they make from that book sale does not go towards buying more books or paying employees. They are books that are donated to the library, or books that the library weeds out. And then the money that they get from them typically goes towards programs or different things to do with the library. Because sometimes, because of library budgets, the library can't make money because I don't know, am I making sense? They can't make money because then it could cut down on their budget. It could set, they are allotted so much money for different parts of the library. And if they show that they didn't use that money or that they made money this year, well then, you don't need that much money, so their budget will be cut. So a library book sale is not a way that it supports the library as far as a business. And I like I said, I love library sales, but they're not a good way to fill your bookstore, because as a customer myself, when I go to a bookstore and I pull a book off the shelf that I would like to read, and I see that it's priced like a hardback, I see that it's priced $5.95. To me, I would pay that for a used book, for a hardback book. But when I see that the book is past library, it's got all the stickers, all the stamps, and the slot for the library card that gets the date stamped on it, which not a lot of libraries do anymore, but if it's an old book. Anyways, if I see that, I'm not going to want to pay that much. Because to me, if I go to a store that has presented books for sale, used books for sale, and then they price it in such a way that it's just high enough to make you think about it. Like, do I really want this book? Do I want to add this to my collection? Do I just want to read it? Because if you just want to read it, I'm okay with buying past library books. But if I want to add it to my collection and want to keep it forever, then I want it to look nice, because I am a little bit of a book snob. I like my books to look nice on a shelf and enjoy them like that. I had to stop talking because I had a customer. But I can't remember what I was saying. Anyways, moral of the story: when you buy books from a bookstore, you're supporting that bookstore. Even if it's just a $1.95 book, that's $1.95 that goes towards keeping that bookstore open. When you buy a bag of books from a book sale, garage sale, whatever, for $1, you are supporting that sale as far as whatever that money goes towards. But your dollar does not keep that library open. They're fine. And maybe when you go to a business that's not government owned, government run, just buy your books or don't buy your books and maybe complain when you leave. I get it. It's hard to spend money on entertainment, things that aren't considered vitally important. But you don't need to ruin my day or make me feel bad for something that I worked really hard to clean, put in the shop, price fairly. Maybe somebody else is looking for that same book and they'd pay $20 for it, and you're upset you paid $2 for it. I don't know. I feel like I'm being super negative. So if I've offended anybody, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that off my chest and stop doing that inner argument, where you're just like, got all the right words, I'm saying all the right things, and you're listening to me, but you've been gone for hours, and I'm just arguing with an imaginary person in my head. So, anyways, excuse me. Hope you're having a good weekend, week, year, whatever. Yeah. Hope to see you or hear from you, or I guess, I don't know, maybe some of you I don't want to see or hear from, but if you enjoyed this, I'm happy. Sorry. Bye.